Hey there, I'm George Toby, photographer, filmmaker, entrepreneur, and fellow creative to many of you, and welcome to Coffee and Creatives. This podcast is for coffee drinkers and creative thinkers, those who love to enjoy a good cup of coffee as well as great conversation. Each week, I sit down with artists, entrepreneurs, and makers to talk about the real creative process, what inspires them, what challenges them, and what keeps them going. So if you're into creativity, coffee, and honest conversation, come and hang out with us on Coffee and Creatives.
Welcome back to Coffee and Creatives. Thanks so much for joining us. This week we have obviously another special guest, which we have every single week here on the podcast. So let's welcome Rowan Martin.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. We are enjoying some beautiful Kicking Horse coffee this week, which, as many of you know who have been watching or listening for a while, that's typically kind of the go-to for the podcast right now. So maybe we'll get a sponsor.
Maybe the sponsorship.
Maybe we'll see.
Down the
Hopefully.
line.
So, Rowan, before we kind of dive into our in-depth conversation for the day, why don't you just let everybody who's listening know who you are, again, what you do for a living, and then your perspective to our relationship.
My name's Rowan. I live in KW, same place that George lives.
Yep.
I am a high school teacher. Right now I'm teaching grade 10 English all day, every day, which is fun. Teaching public school. Who am I? What I do for a living? What was our perspective?
And
do you want to know anything else beyond my job, or is the job good?
I think job's good.
Job is good? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a new teacher. I've been teaching for like a year.
Yeah. What did you do before you were teaching?
Throughout school, I've had a variety of jobs. Honestly, throughout school, I just had like random factory jobs.
Yeah.
Making car parts and masks and
gotta pay the
really
bills somehow,
bad
right?
hours and stuff. Yeah.
That's true. Bad hours.
So I'm working like a real job now, which is cool.
Really
My perspective to our relationship. Good question, man. I've known you for maybe like 6, 7 years.
It's been a while.
I think you were somebody that we didn't know each other. I think we know each other probably the best now
for sure.
than in the past.
Before, I feel like we just kind of like knew of, like where you someone's like, hey, do you know who this is?
Like, I know George.
I know
kind of.
name.
Yeah. How I would describe you then was like the little brother on the worship team.
That's what every person on the podcast has said so far.
Yeah.
Well, those who have that relationship. But
yeah.
I
Candace has said that before.
Absolutely.
And there's a specific moment where I remember you, we're about to go back up for a response song at Maxwell's, and George is just sitting there tuning all the knobs on my acoustic guitar. And I was like, what is wrong with this guy? But no, I think you and I have both matured a little bit. And I don't know, dude, you're a friend. We're in the same home base, and you... Yeah, no, I don't like. I think we can get closer and stuff. I don't know you better than anybody.
You've matured a little bit past me. You have a kid, so
ooh,
I would say
I don't have it all figured out.
I don't know
though.
That's a good question. Would having a kid be a state of like maturity over somebody else?
Over somebody else?
I guess it depends the season of your life. I'm not saying over each other, but you know. If someone
has a kid at 16,
there's so many times.
If someone has a kid at 16, are they more mature than you?
Yeah, see? Probably
not. No, I think you're forced to kind of learn other things, but I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm more mature than you.
Yeah. I don't even know where that question came from, but that
was the first question on your list.
That was the first question. So let's dive into it. This week we are going to be chatting, obviously creativity, but we're going to be talking a lot about creating with purpose, and through the purpose of creating the basics of faith, which both of us have a large foundation of our lives on faith, and then music and kind of the creative process of that.
Yeah.
So before we kind of continue to dive in, how I'd like to start this off is if you could kind of let us know a little bit about your journey with music and creativity and how that began, and did faith play a role in the start of your kind of creative journey through music?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've loved music probably like for my whole life. I grew up like taking piano lessons from maybe 6 years old or something like that. I hated piano lessons and I never practiced, and
I wish I would
the worst student.
Given them.
I played for like 4 years, and then I like begged to quit, and my mom said that if you quit, you have to take guitar lessons.
So compromise.
So a bit of a compromise, and I didn't really like guitar at first either, but there was more, at least, like music that I listened to that would have guitars in it, like Green Day and bands like that I was into as like an 8-year-old. But yeah, no, I always liked music. Like music was always cool to me, even before I could like play an instrument. I would like, I always want to know like what songs were on the radio. Like if something sounded cool, I'd be like, who's singing this? And my parents would never really know the answer.
Right.
Or they'd tell me like the wrong answer. Like they just didn't know.
They just guess.
And so I would, So I don't know. Music was always interesting to me. In terms of playing music, when that got more like serious, I would have been middle school. So I like stopped taking piano lessons in like grade 4, grade 3.
Yeah.
I didn't touch the piano for 4 years because I was like, I want to get away from this thing.
Yeah.
And then in middle school, there was all of these like pop songs being released with pianos in them. Like Adele and all that stuff was really big at the time. And so I was taking guitar lessons at the time, and just sort of like as I was learning my chords, I would go back to the piano, and all I remembered was the name of the notes. I'm like, well, I'll try to learn a C chord on the piano. And that was sort of when I was like, oh, this is cool, and I can kind of learn both of these things. So yeah, always been interested in music. The faith question is interesting. Well, I guess to kind of continue on with that, like high school, I would have joined the worship team. I grew up in a really small church, so it was like anyone who could kind of play was on right away. Someone heard that I was taking guitar lessons, and it's like, we need this guy.
You're on.
And
next week.
And pretty much, my first Sunday, I didn't. I sat in the back of the stage on a stool because I didn't want to do it on an acoustic guitar. They didn't have a plug-in. It's the same guitar I used today, but I put a plug-in in later. But anyways, it was, and I didn't want to do it at all. I like looked down the whole time.
That's so funny because I remember the first time that I ever played on my worship team at my parents' church is the exact same. Sat in the back. Yeah. Didn't even plug the guitar in. Just sat on stage with my head down strumming. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was my first time, but one of my first times I got a riff. This is a deep cut song. Do you remember the song "My Savior, My God"? I can sing a little bit.
Yeah, sing
my
a little bit.
Savior loves, my Savior lives, my Savior's always there for me.
I think it. Yeah.
I don't know. I remember playing this song once, and there's like a little like 3-note riff that the worship leader asked me to play.
Yeah.
But instead of that, I like it was like one fret off.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't like, I'm not some virtuoso. But yeah, worship team from a really early age, definitely like too early to be on like main team, but we were really small. And so I got a lot of experience doing that. And then maybe in grade 10, I started doing like open mics at school. Like they did like coffee houses once a month. And I was kind of the kid with my acoustic guitar and sing like Maroon 5 songs or whatever. Yeah, I would do stuff with friends or solo. And the faith question is interesting because it didn't start with that. I actually didn't. I don't know. Like I remember being at church and like I liked music, but I didn't really like the music at church.
Right.
If I'm being totally honest, this is no disrespect to my old worship team. If anybody is listening to this, but. I don't know. It just wasn't like there was nothing interesting. I didn't like the songs. I do remember the first time that I was like, oh, I actually think I like this song was From the Inside Out, which is an old Hillsong United song.
You can never go wrong with Inside.
And that song was, I don't know, that song stood out to me, and it was probably just something in the melody and that I liked, or the guitar part at the beginning as a kid. But no, the faith in music, it took a little while. It wasn't until being in youth camp sometime in high school where I would have been like, oh, like your worship team can actually be like good.
Yeah, right.
And I was on our worship team back home, so that wasn't saying that like, I don't know, but there was just a new level of like, oh, like these guys like they know like the parts in the songs, and I didn't even know the songs, but I was like, they didn't throw this together. They're taking this seriously. There's a level of excellence here.
There's dedication and time put into it.
And so I definitely loved music way before I ever like loved like worship, which is not a common answer, but for me, it took me a while to get, like I grew up in church, but it took me a while to get to the faith stuff. So, but kind of end of high school, early university was when that sort of started to have more of a part in it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I feel like I have a little bit like of an opposite flip to where like I as well very young was in with drums and guitar and playing a lot of instruments, but I feel like mine was kind of the opposite to where like I drew to music because of worship music, not because of any type of other music. Not to say there's any one way to do it.
No, that's
but
cool.
I wouldn't say at that time I was like heavily faithful. Obviously,
maybe more faithful than me, but
but I feel like at that time I almost felt like I was drawn to the music more because of maybe the music that we were singing or playing. I felt like I had more of a passion for it, as opposed to doing like any secular music. But I feel like now actually sometimes like playing secular music is just so much fun because I just think there's like an element to some secular songs of
getting
like,
to swear.
Oh yeah.
We don't get to do that on a Sunday.
We don't get to do that on Sunday. But yeah, I feel like there's different elements in both. They're both good. That you can just carry from one to another. And with that, how would you say, or like how does your faith influence your creative process today? So if you're kind of thinking through, obviously recently you just took on leading worship at the same campus that we both attend for our church. How would you say that as you kind of go about processing set lists and kind of starting to step into that role? I don't know if you've thought about this or if it just naturally comes up, but how would you see like faith as a part of like that creative process in kind of like your creativity in music? Because obviously you're a very creative musician. I think you're always bringing a different element of like, let's take what the songwriter did and let's see if there's a different way that we can approach it. So how would you say that like faith and that kind of come together?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think sometimes the faith affects it more times than others. Like I think if I'm working on if I'm working on like songwriting, so if that's something I'm doing on my own or something that I'm sending back and forth with a friend, in that way, faith would come more into it, especially on like a lyrical lens. So like if I'm working on a lyric, like I try to, I don't know, like we're writing songs that are like potentially for church. Like I'm not just writing random like acoustic cover. Like I don't know, not covers. I'm not writing covers. That's not how that works. But I'm not writing just random songs. So in that way, faith would definitely influence like lyrics in a sense for songs I'd be working on. And like, so I don't know, if we're maybe stuck on a lyric, it'd be like going to, well, where was the original verse that we were trying to inspired by, or what else is there another verse that we could kind of tie in thematically? So in songwriting, I feel like it definitely does. And I mean, sometimes you just get stuck with like stuff that you've just got to pray through. So I think in terms of like prayer, I would like faith. Obviously, it has, I don't know, plays a part in all aspects of life. But I don't know. You'd have to sometimes have to pray through like, well, what is this song supposed to be? Is it supposed to be there's a song that's in the works right now that like started as like a punk song. And then like I had like a folk version for it. And I think it'll probably end up being some hybrid combination, probably not of those two, but some probably won't live in one certain world. So, but I think you can pray through those things.
Yeah.
In terms of the creativity with like set lists and like different arrangements and stuff, I think some of that stuff would come more from just listening to like lots of types of music.
Right. Yeah.
Like if I'm thinking of an example, maybe a year ago at Maxwell's, we did the song Praises by Elevation Rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's, it's like a really fun, like loud, like youth kind of song, and
a
lot of energy. And I was like, well, what if and we've kind of just done that song one way.
Right.
And acoustic guitar is my main instrument. So I was like, and there's no acoustic guitar in this song. So to me, that's always like, how can I do that song with the instrument that's not in there?
Yeah.
So we did the song, just started off we did half the song like just acoustic guitar and like all voices in, just big harmonies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like some like maybe people are like snapping their fingers and stuff,
clapping along,
and it was cool. And it's like, I don't know, that's and so that kind of made like a bit of a more like jazzy kind of intro to like this like more of like a hype-ish song.
Yeah.
So that stuff, I don't know. Like I'm not that you shouldn't pray about stuff like that, but I feel like I'm more just like let's just try stuff. And I would more be like, if someone else on the team maybe somebody's leading or MDing. It's like, I actually don't think this is going to work super well. Then maybe it doesn't work. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I can hear like lots of different lanes that a song could go beyond just the recording.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, let's see how this goes, which I think is a great like outlook to have when you're thinking of like the creative things within, I think, church music. I think some people get stuck on like, oh, like we have to play it the way that the artist did, or we have to play it the way that Elevation wrote it, or Bethel, or whatever. But I think there's a just much more creative take to it when you can kind of take a song and add in different elements or try it a different way without obviously going completely off course from maybe like the point of the song.
Yeah, we're still going to sing it in church.
I'm
not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to change.
You're not going to change it so you can play it at a concert on a Friday night.
Yeah, no, we're not going to make. Yeah, I'm not going to like change the lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I also don't like necessarily changing the melody. Like I still believe in like accessibility. Like if people know the song, I think you should just give them the song.
Right.
Not that, I mean, if you're a crazy singer who can do runs, go for it. I can't do that.
Fun.
So I'm not going to do that to a song.
I can't either. So,
but I think part of that comes from growing up though, of like not playing things to the track, because we didn't play with any of that stuff. I've never heard the original songs to most songs I played at church until I was like 18.
Right.
It was just like, this is the chord sheet, this is how you're playing it. And so, and some guy would come in with an idea for like, we're going to have a synth intro. And so we would do creative stuff, but I didn't know. I was just kind of working with the chords and what we were given. So, but I also learning how to play in like a small team, I think helps you be more, both are good. Like learning how to play when it's just yourself or when it's just you and a drummer is totally different than playing with a click and an MD and like a massive band. So but I do think listening to types of the different types of music is a big one that, and whether that's secular music or Christian music, if you're someone who only listens to Christian music, then listen to some Kirk Franklin and you can spice up your chords and stuff.
Have you ever found yourself like listening to like a secular song or something on the more secular side and you hear like an element of something that you're like, yo, this would actually be really good and like in this church song? Or like,
that's a good question. So one thing I don't like when I don't really like singing secular songs on a Sunday. Maybe that maybe that seems obvious, but there are churches who would do that. They would throw in like a bridge of a U2 song or a Coldplay, like some safe song, like not singing like Lil Nas X on a Sunday morning or some crazy, but they would throw in something like that, and I don't think that is what those songs were designed to do, or to be for.
Right.
But yeah, that's a good question. I would say more so inspired, not not like I'm gonna steal that riff.
I'm gonna use that riff.
I'm gonna use that Coldplay riff, which is a classic electric guitar player thing to do.
I've seen a lot of people who are using the Coldplay one, or they're using, especially after Maverick Top Gun came out, like every person.
What are they using from Maverick Top Gun? The One Republic song?
The popular line in the...
That song?
No.
What are you talking about?
From Top Gun.
The new one or the old one?
Yeah, the newest one that just came out was like, oh, how does this...
Is it the One Republic song? I Ain't Worried?
There's a very popular line.
I ain't worried about it right now.
No, not that one.
The Lady Gaga song, Hold My Hand? That song's also in there.
Is that it? Like, what's the most popular, like, when, like, Maverick is, like, in, like, a dramatic scene, he's, like, coming out.
I haven't actually seen the movie.
Oh, my goodness. Bro, you gotta watch this movie.
The big, like, ballad song I know, because I know what songs are in the movie, is the Lady Gaga song, Hold My Hand. But then the beach scene song is the One Republic song with the whistling.
Yeah, but it's not that one.
Okay.
It's like there's a dramatic moment where it's like, I need to think of this. I can't keep going forward, so I'm going to pause. How does it go? Oh my goodness.
George edits this in post and realizes it wasn't Top Gun Maverick all along.
No, it is. Because it was like all the good, like as soon as the song came out or the movie came out, I was looking through Instagram on like the Monday, and it was like every guitar player who like records their services or does stuff was like, who's like a, Instagram musician. Or like not Instagram musician who shares their music and stuff, was literally like when you sneak in Top Gun to the song, and it was I'm just trying to think of how
I know what you're
the
talking
song
about.
goes,
I can't think.
It's like
I know what you're talking about. I've seen those kind of videos.
No, that's Star Wars.
Are you thinking of the Titanic?
No. I have to look it up now. It's like the theme song. For
is
Top
it maybe
Gun.
it's an instrumental song, like not like a? So I'm thinking of like pop songs with like lyrics.
As soon as you'll know. I obviously can't play this on the podcast because it'll probably get kicked off YouTube.
This isn't the old one though.
But this is still the theme song from
does
the
it
new
come back
movie.
okay.
So people were sneaking. That's what I'm talking about. So like people were like sneaking that line
into their worship sets.
like into their worship sets.
Yeah.
Like looks like Phoebe is gonna join us.
I don't know if I've ever done that. I don't know if I've ever snuck in a.
Yeah.
Definitely inspired by stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I've ever snuck in a line.
Like I feel like that is like probably the closest that somebody would come to like taking a secular song and like putting it a part of a worship song. But I feel like that's like, unless you're like probably an avid musician, you wouldn't really recognize
Pick
if
up on
somebody
that.
did that. You probably wouldn't do anything with that. So
Yeah.
kind of talking on that and kind of keeping within like the church kind of community themes. So obviously at our church, we have a large community of people, from like on Sunday mornings to home bases.
Yeah.
How would you, how has being part of a church community shaped your approach to creativity and even collaboration?
Yeah.
Like I think even like for like me, for instance, like this podcast is like a big part of kind of why I've been able to do it and have a lot of guests is because there's so many people in our church community that are also like avid and incredible creatives like yourself, and which is why I'm having you and a lot of people on this. But like how would you see like having such a good church community be a part of your approach to creativity?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think well, since I've been a part of our church, which when I joined, it was Slate in 2018. There's always been people who are better than me at like music, for example.
Yeah.
So like on every instrument. So like I play a few instruments. There's always someone who is like a step above me, whether that's just in how they play worship songs or just in general. Like someone like I'll name drop someone like Andrew can just like that guy can rip metal stuff, can rip jazz stuff, and I'm just like, dude, like why do I even play
like
guitar?
Anything you call, and he's like,
he can do it all. And
I remember there was like one Sunday, and we were trying to get a specific line, and he had forgotten it, and I think it was probably like Nick, and Nick was literally just like, like literally just like that's what you need to do, and then he was just like, okay, and like no problem.
That would have taken me 15 minutes to figure out. So I think surrounding yourself with like musicians who are better than you is definitely that's, I don't know, that's just like, oh man, I want to, sometimes someone's so good and you're like, that I don't even want to play guitar again. But if you're like, oh, that's a cool little like chord I can add in, or that's a different like technique or whatever. So like you can learn stuff from people who are better than you. In terms of collaboration, I would say I'm more of a collaborative person in general. Sometimes I don't know if to a fault, but I don't like making the decisions. That's not my natural. Like I don't like being the person who has to, I don't know. Like I don't really like being in the worship leader seat on a Sunday, because it means that I have to make the final call.
You have to make a call, yeah.
But if I can like share that, which recently has been more collaborative, like with our teams, or if I'm, I don't know, a co-lead or something, you have some responsibility and you have some like ownership over something, but you're, I don't know, and I like collaborating with people on like set lists and stuff too. Like it's, something, I don't know. And sometimes you're going to have a great idea, and then sometimes someone else is just going to kind of light something up, which is cool. Like I remember we did a men's event maybe sometime in the fall. Were you there? I don't know. It was at City.
I remember it, but I wasn't there.
Okay, you weren't there. It was a great night. It was like the deepest kind of like men's night we've had, focused around like sex and porn and all of that stuff. And so it was a deep night. It wasn't like throwing around the football, and it was emotional men's night. And it was an acoustic like strip back team for worship. Yeah. And I was leading, and worship had gone okay. Like we had been asked to do a song that like didn't end up going super well. Like pastors were in our ears being like, cut this song short. And I was like, what the heck? Like,
stop doing it.
And it was like, okay, like we were asked to do this song. So that was interesting. And then And then so whatever, we're up for a response. We're doing like Firm Foundation, and it's going okay. People are like kind of responding to it, and then I was just kind of like, there wasn't anything obvious of like where to go next. And it's like ministry time. You've got like 20 minutes to kind of be leading something. And I was on with Nathan Henderson, and I was like, hey man, you got any ideas? And we're just chatting on the stage, and he's like, what if we go into, what is the name of that song? Oh, I just had it.
What a beautiful name.
No, it's an old song.
No other name.
Oh, dude, this is gonna drive me nuts.
Are we like how old are we talking?
It's like early 2000s. Oh, I was thinking about this earlier today.
Blessed be your name. No, that's
not blessed, dude. Not blessed be your name. Your love never fails. It never gives up. It never runs out. Whatever that song is called.
Your love never fails.
Your love never fails.
It's called, yeah.
Okay. And he's like, oh, what about this song? I was like, man, I think that would work well.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let's try it. And I had to like kind of fumble my way through the chords. I didn't remember how to play it. And then, he started leading that song, and the room just like responded really well. Yeah. And then from that, I was like, oh, we got to go Battle Belongs next. Like that's what I'm just lyrically and like musically and everything. That was, and then we just stayed in that song for the rest of the night.
Right.
But that was a piece where like, if I didn't ask him, we wouldn't have, if I was just like, oh, let's just keep singing whatever song we were doing.
Yeah.
So I really like collaboration. Doesn't mean that every idea is a good one.
Yeah, but I think it's having that person or somebody, whether it's somebody like long-term relationship with somebody you can bounce things off of to kind of give that perspective.
Yeah.
But I also think it helps like having people who are like maybe your go-to people that you're like, oh, I'm really going to try something new that like might really shake things up.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to, bring that up with somebody.
The person who's just joined the team.
Yeah, maybe I'll like bring it up with someone who's like I have more of a deeper relationship with, who will give me like that like honest feedback, right? Those people in your corner who no matter what you're doing are going to tell you the truth, right? They're going to be honest with you, even if it might like hurt your feelings, and they're like, that sucks. You should never try
I've got a good example for that one. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people I would bounce stuff off of. If it's worship set ideas, I'd bounce stuff off Nick often.
Yeah.
Or
I don't often get a text from you about that, but that's okay.
You're not usually MDing. But I can bounce stuff off the drummers more often. That's true. I should get some more drummer input into my worship sets. Man, can we start off every Sunday with a drum solo,
just like
please?
Drum solo all time.
Please.
Just do it.
No,
you know what though? Brandon Richardson would never complain about that. I'm just gonna say
he wouldn't.
Never.
If it was up to Brandon, we'd start every Sunday with a drum solo,
with just drums and only drums,
and the stand, and close with Mighty to Save. That's all you need.
Just those. That's all you.
It'd be a 20-minute service.
Yeah.
And
it'd be a 20-minute worship.
20-minute worship, and then Brandon would preach for 2 hours. Yeah. But no, the example that I have recently, I'm working on this song with a friend, and we're pretty excited about it. We're sending it back and forth in different like voice memos and everything like that. And I was like, okay, let me play this song for Micah and see what she feels like. Micah is my wife, and she's got good opinion. She's not like a music person, but like likes music and has like good opinions. I trust my wife.
I mean, she gave me some pretty harsh feedback a couple weeks ago on sound. So.
On sound, what was wrong? Was some of the drums were?
I don't remember honestly what she said.
Drums were too quiet. I think
she said there was something off with somebody's. I don't remember. I thought
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There was a drum week.
I think you texted me and said, "Hey man, Micah
said the drums are off."
Because I was away, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I think Micah noticed something about the mix. I think she just said it was maybe like a little unbalanced, like things just need to be a little better balanced. I was like,
that's so funny.
All right, Micah, let's join sound team.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love it, but I love getting feedback from literally. I actually not respect, but like I prefer feedback from people who don't. I wouldn't say Micah doesn't know what she's talking about. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like from
she
people
doesn't know how to work a soundboard.
Yeah. But like people who don't have as advanced knowledge in worship or music.
Yeah.
Because they have a more like if something's not right and they notice, then like that's a lot bigger than somebody who knows music and notices, right?
Yeah, these little minute things that we can like fixate on. But if the average person's like, oh, there's something weird going on with the drums, then something is weird.
Yeah, something's wrong.
But anyway, so we had this song that we're working on, and I'm excited. And I was like, okay, let me just play this song for Mike and see what you think. So I grabbed my guitar, and I'm playing this for Mike in the kitchen. And I was like, what are your thoughts? Because the last time I showed her a song that I worked on with a friend, she's like, that's a great song. And that song, hopefully, we'll get to do in church soon. I'm excited about it. And for the first time, I like that song, she was like, I think that's awesome. Like, this song, she was like, honestly, like, I think you could use a little bit more work. She's like, chorus could use some more lyrics. It was kind of just like one word over and over, but like I liked the melody. I was like, this is cool. She's like, it's a little kitty and like your like melodies and lyrics, and I was like, all right, okay, that's like tough feedback, but like,
like, all right, okay.
So I sent it to my friend who I'm working on it with, and he was like, dude, I appreciate the honesty. And so, but what was cool out of that is, at first you're like, oh man, I thought we had this awesome song, and then you're like, we had an idea, and there's good components to this, but this what like. We had been working on this song for like a couple of weeks. It wasn't like nobody was slaving away for 5 hours or for 5 years on this song.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
And then there's a song, and the latest Elevation Rhythm song, "Believe It." Well, they actually just put out an album today, but "Believe It," which is like, it's almost like a club kind of sounding song.
Yeah, it's kind of like a more like R&B.
It's cool. It's and it's got these like gang vocals. I was listening to that on the way to worship night, and I was like, oh, what if I sang that song in a minor key? And then I just turned it down and I started singing it just in the car, and I was like, oh, that could be cool. And then then a new chorus. So anyways, but it's like the feedback of like being willing to like rethink that idea and then getting inspired by something else was like, oh, that actually maybe there was some good stuff with that original thing, but maybe that like was just like just to kind of lead us to something even better.
Yeah. I think you never really know what feedback can kind of bring you to. I think it's really good like when you get those feedback moments to kind of like sit in it and just kind of be like, okay, like let me think about this, and before you know it, you're gonna have something that either inspires you to kind of dive back into that, or you're gonna like resonate on it enough that you're like, okay, like let's reevaluate where this is at. But with that, how would you balance like the pursuit of excellence in the work with that, but then also staying humble and like kind of purpose driven? I feel like there's a hard balance, I would say, more when it comes to faith-based music, to kind of be able to pursue that excellence, the best of your ability. Like you obviously want to bring your best to what you do in any capacity as a creative, right? But also still like being humble about it and not trying to, like you said, when you share these moments with people, but what you think, not being like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, but being humble and taking that, but still pursuing like that, like drive to like, I want to pursue this and do this.
It's a good question. Yeah. I would say that there's been moments recently, and not that one with Mike. There's been moments recently where like there has been feedback on a song that isn't super positive, and it's like, and which is one, I don't know. And like when it's interesting, but when all the people who have sort of been a part of making it are really excited about it, I'm like, okay, like there might be something to that feedback, but it also, I don't know, like I want to hear feedback, but I don't want to just like drop everything that I did because of some person doesn't like it,
right?
Because I think, I don't know, there was feedback on a song, and I was like, I don't know, like I feel like this would work really well in church, and I feel like this is great, and like and now in my head also through the feedback I can envision like subtle tweaks that might make it more accessible or more congregational, and but yeah, I think, I don't know, I think you have to love, at least for me, I don't know, I'm not someone, I don't get excited about just like, I do get excited about songwriting, I don't just get excited about like new Christian music for the sake of just pumping up music.
Yeah, right.
I get excited about like good songs.
Yeah, good songs.
So if there's a good song, a song that I'm excited about, then I want to like kind of just like, I don't know, make that song the best it can be.
Yeah.
And what was your question?
How do you balance like the pursuit of
the excellence and humility,
kind of staying within humility but still having that drive?
Yeah. I don't know, like I want the song to be the best it can be, and so I want the guitar tones and all that stuff to be like what I can envision that in my head, or what whoever is kind of envisioning that to sound like.
Yeah.
At the same time though, like I don't think that the songs that we're working on are the best songs that have ever been written. Like I don't know, like maybe like I think that they will go well in church.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that they won't, and that's okay. I still think they're good songs though. Like I don't think that has to like crush my like abilities or the work that I put into it or anything.
Yeah. And I don't think anybody has to ever make a song like that's like, this is the best song ever. Like I know half the songs that, you know, churches and artists release most of the time are not I'm sure they'd release it with like, we know this is not the best song. And I wouldn't really say, like, I feel like you can ask everybody, like, what's the best worship song right now? They're probably like, it's probably whatever one is just like impacting them the most at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's ever like, I think if we always just have the mindset of like, if this is not the best song, we can't release it, because if that's your mindset, then you might as well, you're never going to
release anything.
Because as a creative, like, you're your worst critic. So even if somebody tells you this is the best song ever, you're still going to listen to it and be like, oh, well, this could be better. This could be fixed. And I feel like you're just never going to get to that point unless you just accept that, hey, it's okay that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the best, but it's the best that I can give it right now.
Yeah, totally. And I also think with like songs in a live setting, you can like what am I trying to say? You can like remake those songs. Like a song that has been out for, I don't know, even a couple months. You're like, actually, maybe we want to tweak that lyric. Go tweak it then when you sing at a church.
Nothing's indefinite.
Change the lyrics. Maybe it's released on Spotify, but you can put it another version. Like, I don't know.
Change it.
You like
lose all the listens.
lose all the listens. Yeah. Streams would go down. But I don't know. I feel like that doesn't have to end. Like some of the songs that we like recreate and everything have been around for like 100 years.
Yeah.
Like messing around with old hymns and stuff like that. So I don't think that has to end. But I think realizing that your song is not the best song ever written, and that like probably nobody beyond our church will ever hear this song.
Well,
like,
you never know.
Probably
somebody might beyond our church might hear it.
Maybe, but at this point, like we haven't released any songs as a church. I'm not like my goals for the songs we write are not to be the next Elevation or anything like that. Like we're writing songs that might work for our church that I could see people connecting with and that gives them words to worship God. I
think that's the perfect.
And I want them to be good.
To have,
and I want them to be musically interesting. I want the band to have fun playing them. And like that doesn't mean every song gets a guitar solo.
Yeah, exactly.
But
no, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast this week.
Sure,
we're probably going to wrap it up there. I'm sure we'll probably have you back.
Let's do it.
Maybe we'll do some specialty one with a couple people who I think would work really well together in a conversation.
Or maybe we don't.
Might have
maybe
to
we
be
just argue.
Or we just argue the whole
Debate.
time. That could be great. We could do a live music writing session on the podcast.
How can we write a song in 45 minutes? That'd be cool.
I think we could. And I think we should.
Okay.
I like it. A good group of people. Let's do it. Thank you guys for joining us this week, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for joining us today on Coffee and Creatives. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.